What's up, Rockstars, and welcome to my unboxing of Machina Arcana. I've been excited for this for a long time. It's finally reached the States. It's finally gone all the way to Idaho on its little tiny wagon. I'm assuming, you know, on like a railroad track. It finally got to me. I'm excited for it. Let's get started. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Into the AM. Support the channel and get an awesome premium shirt I designed with them by using the link in the description below to purchase Eternal Guardian. From the lopsided crown, wolves, Norse throne, and more, this shirt is spectacular, and you can save 10% off when buying this fantastic shirt. Check it out and many other awesome shirts via the link down below. Now, as always, a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that this channel is possible. It is through them that I'm able to bring you all the content that I do every single week. So if you appreciate that, you can give even $1 a month. There's a link down below, and I greatly do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yeah, this is going to be pretty darn cool. There's actually a lot here. This is very heavy. I'm really excited to see this. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I'm really excited to see. I remember the art was exquisite. I liked the idea of kind of the dungeon crawl that's kind of progressing, and no minis. So let's see how I react to that. Let's go and get it to the table. All right, let's dive in, see what all the fuss is about. I am excited. There's going to be a lot here, I think. Very dense, from what I can tell. Okay, we got some blockers here. That's nice to see. That's nice. We do have some boxes here. Let me slide this out so we don't hit the microphone too much. You guys want ASMR, not just loud noises, right? Okay, so we got some books here, and I think so when I ordered this, I it was back when I would film that, and everybody could see me him and haw about what I'm gonna back and whatnot. I ended up not backing these books, and so they contacted me like in character and like, hey, we added the books, and I was like, okay, cool, thanks. But everything else is actually stuff that I bought. Really excited for this. It looks super cool. These are interesting, so they're keeping the same like size on your bookshelf. Maybe they need to be that long, we'll see, but often it's just there to match the kind of one, at least two of the dimensions of the core box, right? So like the height and often even like a general width or something like that. Maybe not. Just depends on how you look at it, I guess. Really one dimension, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, this is packed in tight, which is great. Looks like it came in nice and safe. Oh, it's heavy. It's heavy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Go away, box. Oh, don't rise with me. Okay, I'm gonna set it down. There. Oh, wait. There we go. Whew. All right. So. Got the core box here, and 2 expansions, and some books. Let's dive into them. All right, first things first, I want to get this out of the way. Ooh, there we go. So we can look at the books real quick, because I'm just going to leaf through them, and then we'll get to like the core box and expansions and stuff like that. Normally I start with the core box, but you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's start where we normally do. I will say these are long. That's kind of interesting. Okay, but we'll put those aside. We'll take a look at them. Same with these. Let's do the core box for now. All right. So, it is wrapped, but a nice kind of loose wrapping here, which is nice. I do appreciate that. It makes it easier on me. Like, it's not like loose on here, but there's like some excess there that I can abuse. All about abusing. You heard it here, folks. All right. All right, come on. Again, you would think I'd be better at this. How many of these I've unboxed? This is a nice sized box, though. It's not too tall. This may be a little bit taller than this. All right, let's go ahead and flip it over. Let's hear if we hear anything. Pretty solid in there, or at least right now. You know, with the tokens not punched out and everything. Let's see here. So they have the box contents here. Pretty small. A little bit here. This is a very retail look on the back here, I would say. Great looking art, shows you kind of how the game. Have you ever been frightened into paradise? Okay, all right, sure. Cooperative horror adventure. Sweet, 3rd edition. Okay, there is a ding here you see on the bottom. So there was packaging, you know, like padding and stuff all around the sides, but not on the bottom there. You can see right here. That's where the issue was, right? So packaging on the bottom, I think, would have prevented that. I don't care too much. I'm not going to look at it, and I know how expensive these can be to replace. On the front, there is a little bit of a... you could feel that. Let me see if I can catch it in the light, perhaps, to show you. Maybe not. Very subtle, but this right here is raised. It's like tentacle thing, and then like the whole ridge here is raised. This is raised. The lettering is raised, and then it's all flat everywhere else. Like kind of a linen finish. Looks like there are some scratches. However, with the regular scratches, it looks fine. In fact, maybe I'm just crazy. Oh, it's textured on the sides too. I can feel it here. In here, so very nice, very nice. Inside the box is actually fairly standard cardboard, though. Like it has its normal kind of flow. It's not extra rigid, I would say. The glue job, from the looks of it, are nice. There's a little bit of a lip right here. So right here you can kind of get a little tiny bit of one. Not too bad. I don't think it's going to collect too much dust or anything like that. No mold or anything like that, so we're good there as far as I can tell anyway. It's all speckled and spotted anyway, right? But yeah, it's decent. It's decent. For this size, I think it'll work. It is quite heavy, so after repeatedly opening and closing it, we'll see if like one of these corners start to break, right? That's what happens often, especially with these heavy things like that. Taking it off the shelf by like pulling a lip of it here, right? You'll get like we'll see. All right, so we have a 3.0 manual here. So I can see right now I don't like the shape. This is a bit too big and floppy. I don't want something flopping around, being all unwieldy when I'm trying to read it. The bigger it is like this, the more table space it takes. When you open it up on the table, it's now taking this much space, as opposed to maybe just being like cutting it off to like here even. Like I'd rather it be thicker than wider, right? And you can read in that comment as much as you want, I suppose. But yeah, especially if it has something like this. So yeah, so like right here on this, like. That means I'm keeping this on the table. So this is the footprint, right? This adds to the table footprint. So just something to always keep in mind, of course. It looks like there's not a lot of spacing that they could do. You could maybe tighten a few things here, but the font size is actually quite large. I wouldn't go any smaller than this. We definitely need to be able to do it. But we have game effects here. It is in alphabetical order. It doesn't look like it follows headers. However, it is only one page each from what I can see. So it's not an index there. Let's go ahead and take a look. I do like these, like showing the different things here, though. That's kind of nice. That's cool. And then like these are action spaces versus map elements. And this has 2 pages. So, I mean, maybe they just list, they only mention attack on 14 and never again, but I doubt that. Moving on to here, we do have a table of contents, which is not a index, right? And so this is not alphabetical order. It's based off of the headings. And then it's only one page for that heading, wherever the heading is. If the heading is down here, right, on the page, then it's going to list me there, but I really need to turn the page to actually read it, right? So that's kind of table of contents is nice, but it is not an index. For a 3.0, I'm surprised nobody's told you to get an index, but maybe it's because I hadn't backed it yet. I have now. 4.0 should have an index, for sure. It looks like you have a lot of other organization, so it should be fairly easy. I do like, however, the breakdown they have here. So, they have this formatting, and then this formatting, and then this formatting, and then they even have some lighter formatting here where it like specifies different effects and stuff, or concepts. And that's very nice to use both font size, color, highlight. There's a lot of things at your disposal to visually kind of say what's going on. I will say one small nitpick here is that you do get a little bit of like, it gets kind of dark here and there's dark here, and without a like here, I'll zoom in. Well, I'm not going to zoom in. I don't want to change my zoom, but you can see right here, it gets a little, it's dark on dark, right? And it's not a huge thing for the most part. You have that here, but anytime you're doing designs like this, you need to keep an eye on like what is going there, right? According to your margins and whatnot. It looks like there is no index, so we're going to go and flip to the front and take a look, and then move on from there. All right, so let's take a look at this gigantic book. All right, game overview. round overview. I love this high level start. Start me super high concept. I don't need to be able to play the game. I just need context for what I'm about to dive into. How to win the game, how to lose the game. This is a fantastic first page. It even has like a flow chart, you know, you can do flow charts, that's fine, like this, where it kind of shows that this is a cyclical thing. You're going to repeat it over and over again, and this is order with numbers, not just relying on the arrows there. It matches this explorer phase, spawn phase, horror phase, and then at the very basic, I know exactly, okay, what's the goal of this freaking game? And okay, how do we lose? So with this, and it looks like this is not fluff. This is not like story context. This is game context, right? This page should tell me pretty much everything. Like, this is like a Kickstarter page right here. It's like, tell me the high level. What is your game? How does it play for the most part? Like, high level. How do I win? How do I lose? Okay, I'm interested. Let's dive in. Let's do that given context. Then we have components. This is great too, because we have several things. We have the picture, we have the number, and we have the title. So further on in the rulebook, I'll refer back to this when I'm reading it. You might start talking about essence tokens, and I can't for the life of me know what the difference between your essence tokens and your stamina tokens are, especially like which one's the gear, which one's the lightning symbol. That's not inherently helpful. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. I'm sure you want to actually kind of see what I'm talking about there. So let's get... There we go. Okay. So I don't, I won't know. So you just start spouting off about essence tokens, especially if you even if you say there's 4 of them, why do I know which one, right? But I know there should be 4, and I know, go back, okay, they mean this. This is the essence tokens. This is a lot easier than looking at something like this, like a setup, and trying to find it and find out, what's what. So I do like this. I like seeing this, and towards the beginning, I'll constantly be referring back to it as I read your rule book. Unless you put a lot of extra imagery in there. This is kind of interesting. So it breaks out each scenario even, so I know exactly, because there are different chapter cards per scenario, and it does have a symbol as well, and it looks like it matches the card symbol there. Very nice, very nice. More component overviews continued on there. It doesn't like they put a cont, right, a continued. So if you are, like, it's been a while and you're looking back and you don't happen to flip it over, right, you might think, oh, this is the components, or what's all the other components? Well, it's in the next one. Often putting something like a continued can help. I do notice over here they also have the header here, component overview. So that's also very, very nice. I quite like that. It's definitely like, hey, this is supposed to be a tool that I use and kind of look up. So this is the game setup here. Now, I'm not sure this is actually how you would normally set up a game session. Would you normally set it to where, like, I don't know, it just seems like where are the players here? This is your player over here, and then your map's over here. Maybe that's how you normally set it up. That seems kind of odd to me. It looks to me more like this is how you would set up the table. But I don't know. It depends on what they do, because these maps can grow. And one of the issues with those games is you don't know where to move everything to, right? But yeah, okay. So we have this again, a reminder again. That's fine to reuse stuff. We have call-out boxes here with different big headers. We have symbols here and effects. Now this says the monster level is 5 swords. But unless I've seen what the swords are yet, I don't know. You got to be careful when it comes to defining things, right? Hopefully there's a symbol check somewhere, or does this mean monster level? I'm not sure just by reading that anyway. I do see that see nearest page 24, see chapter board page 7. Overall, this looks good. It does have some fun imagery, but it's not, overused to the point where it's like, oh, this is a waste, right? So they have about almost half a page here, but the next section, as you can see, like they would have maybe been able to get this in there, and then this would have been on the other one, and so they're like, well, let's just make the map tile on this side. That's fine. I can understand stuff with that. That's normally what they do to fill in space, right? When it doesn't equal perfect like this. But overall, I think it's pretty good. Not a big waste of like margins or anything like that. The art looks gorgeous. Looks cool. Again, if there's an issue, I'll let you know in a review. All right, we got a guidebook. Read this first. Now, does that mean I read this before the manual? Speaking of which, it's called a manual, not a rulebook. That's interesting. I don't know if they feel that means something different. I don't know if I feel that means something different. So I'd be curious to know what you guys think. Is a manual different than a rulebook? All right, so we have a guidebook that I'm supposed to read first, but it was put second in my box, so I can't do that. Take heed, explorers, because this is like a story and stuff like that. By the looks of it. Gameplay through basic symbols. Okay, here's basic symbols. I don't see the swords, but I do see some basic symbols. That was the not the relic. This was the relic, or the essence. Sorry, this was okay, see, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Whatever. Okay, interesting. You know, anytime you split rules between books, it is kind of important to make sure that it's a good split. A very good split. That's the one hard part about doing multiple books. I fully support multiple books, not Burks, especially if it makes sense on like its structure. It's like it's written differently, it's laid out differently. But you just gotta be careful. You don't want to put stuff. Just like you don't want to put like new rules in a glossary. You don't want to put new rules necessarily on one or the other. There's a little bit of bent pages here. Looks like these are just different player aids. It is front and back by the looks of it. And it is a very, very, very small print. So I can read this fine, but that's because I'm amazing. Not everybody's as cool as me, and sometimes their eyes suck. I am wearing contacts, so I have nothing to brag about, really. But, yeah, okay, so there's a monster level 5 again, right? But, yeah, this is really, really tiny. Yeah, I don't know. There comes a point where, like, okay, do you really need the goal of the whole game on your player aid? Like, I feel like if you've forgotten that, that's a fine. Go ahead and look that up, but don't ask again. Seriously, we're halfway through the game, Kent. Explain the different phases. Yeah, I mean, it just you have to realize what it is you're putting on here and how usable it is. But I am glad we have player aids regardless. Okay, we got some tokens here. We should probably have a whole bunch of tokens. Let's take a look. That's not actually that many. Oh, okay, all right. So, right off the bat, I am noticing a little bit of peel here. So if you see here, as I do that, it just starts to peel right off. Do you see that? So that is the worry you have on any hard edge. That it just falls apart. Because as you're playing it, right, that's what happens. So I might sacrifice one of my pieces. Depends. The curved edge seemed a lot nicer, but you only get one of those edges. It is not flaking or anything like that, so that's good. Sorry, I think I just hit the microphone. Let's go in and look at the D-hole. Let's look at the D-hole. All right, perfect. Okay, so we got the D-hole here. First of all, looks pretty good. It is fairly dark, so you can see it now. It's right close in front of the picture. In fact, if you're watching this on anything but a phone, it's probably way larger than it is in real life to you, and with some intense lighting. But when it's like on the table over there, I mean, even now, looking at the camera, it's like, I don't know if I can really tell what I'm looking at there. So that's one thing you always have to watch out, especially for this kind of stuff. I love the darkness. You just kind of have to watch out and make sure that it's noticeable. So let's go to the hard edge and see what happens. Oh, so right here, see, we're already starting to get it there. I want to go and stop it there because I don't want to ruin my game just for you guys. You guys can deal. But as you can see, like if it's manhandled a lot, these standees probably not too bad. And it punched out great, by the way. Like they're great. I don't even see any tags. Like there's no tags at all, which is very nice. Very, very nice to see that, because those tags can rip and tear stuff as well, which is, I believe, a song from Doom. So rip and tear works there as well. Very fitting, probably, for, not exactly, you know, we're not on Mars here, but maybe we are, I don't know. But these tokens here, like the ones that you really tend to manhandle, right, can sometimes get like that. In fact, look at this. Even in the printing, you see there's a little bit of peeling there. It's definitely something you worry about. Squishiness, it is fairly squishy. It just in general, besides the fact that there are freaking no tags at all, which, like, there are none here. There are no, like you can see right here. I'm gonna go real close now. Maybe it'll focus. There you go. You can see the little tiny lip there. So when it cuts, it doesn't quite get even there. Do you see that? But that's not a tag. That's just the thing that's cutting, right? It doesn't quite, goes a little bit deeper. But I do worry about that peeling over time. Now that means you're playing the game and enjoying the game and all that stuff, and that's fine. Just trying to let you know what's what. So yeah, definitely on the cheaper side of cardboard quality. The cutouts are on the more expensive side. A weird juxtaposition, really. I mean, they're just falling out, and again, no tags anywhere, which is awesome. So pros and cons, like always. Tell you that, guys, all the time, right? But yeah, I mean, everything just punches out beautifully. Looks great. All right, let's go in and move off of these. I think we've seen enough tokens. I've played around. I've ruined one of my pieces enough for you guys. Let's see, storage. Looks like we have maybe even some padding there. That's kind of interesting. So here, probably tokens, I would assume. Here, is there anything in here? This is weird. I don't know. So they just have the locking tabs. So that's what this little crease is here. It kind of dips into there. Do you see how it kind of just ever so slightly keeps it from coming off? I very much like that. It looks like this is just a solid block. I don't know if this will be used or not, but they reinforced it quite well. They put some cardboard in there, and it's actually like dual layered here even. Now it's like the lip is separate. Very interesting, because like this one has it, but just in the well there. I guess it makes sense. It's just a big well. All right, then we have, looks like no lid on that. So the lid for this is just putting this on top of it, which isn't exactly a lid. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Let's look at some tiles. Let's look at some tiles. Let's see what this is all about here. Okay. From what I can tell, same cardboard quality. So this, I mean, over time, this will definitely, I think, show some wear and tear. As any game will, of course. Some just more than others. Oh, come on now. They had the silica packet inside of there, so these should be nice and straight. Ideally, that helps on its voyage across the sea, which is a lot of water, by the way. But between sealing it, between putting the silica packet in there, there shouldn't be a lot of warp. So the way to test that is if they're all bent, and when I flip it over, it'll be bent the other way. So it's going to take one tile, flip it over, and see. There is a little bit of a bend there. That's what, otherwise there'd be no gap at all, right? So there's definitely a gap. And what I will say is this is, again, very cheap, very bendy. I mean, just extremely bendy. It's a big piece of cardboard, but this is probably one of the bendiest boards I have. Print quality looks good. I think it's naturally pretty muted. So I can't go too much on like contrast or anything like that. But I don't see any fuzziness. All right, I don't see anything that looks like it shouldn't, right? Like it bled or anything like that. And the lighting, the art direction in general is quite nice. It's very grid based, right? These, like, everything is a square. This is a square. This is a square. These circles are centered inside of a square. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very fake looking, if that makes sense. It doesn't look naturally lived in. Like, people don't naturally put barrels exactly in the middle of every single one, if that makes sense. Or even the stuff laying on the table is very even. They do have a chest here that's kind of like, you know, cornered a little bit, but for the most part, even those are, you know, tucked pretty nicely and aligned everywhere. It's just, it's very square based. I don't really know. I mean, see, like this, it's just, there's not really what I'm seeing of anything else. No, there is double-sided. That's nice. This depth looks good. I like that look a lot. Definitely looks like there's a deep chasm here, right? It does have some natural, looks like lines on it that are colored that probably have some significance. Maybe even same here. So that'd be nice if it's built into the map like that, instead of having to put overlays or stuff like that. And there's some good color variation, right? We got blues, we got purples, we got oranges, we got reds, we got freaking teals, we got tentacles. You know, the moment you get tentacles, you know you're in the good place. No, we're not there. I can tell you that much. But yeah, it to me it looks like a designed map, right? Like this is right there in the center, right? It's not like a little lopsided to the left or anything like that. It's like it's got like 4 squares, 2 squares by 2 squares, right? And exactly in the middle with a chest. You know, like even this is symmetrical, right? Like you could cut it here and it's like flipped, right? So here and here, here and here, these 4 on either edge there. Interesting, which is fine. It's just very game boardy. I didn't really look that close, and honestly, like they're all put together too, right? So that changes as well, of course. But yeah, cool. I like how this looks higher, right? It has a shadow that it casts down. Which is nice, even on the tiles here. It's very helpful. All right, here's your map tiles. We do have a dual layer board here. This is nice. Looks like it faces this way. It's got some really fancy numbers here. It is cut off a little weird. So if you see, I see actually above the one here, and then I don't even quite see the bottom of the one here. The 2's cut off in general, and again, if it was lifted up just a little bit, it'd be a little bit better. So it's cut nicely. It's cut very nicely, actually. There's no like fuzzies coming off or anything like that, but the whole thing is actually a little bit, like the bottom part's a little bit lower. All these numbers aren't quite centered, right? It's a little bit lower on all of them. But this double board like feels great. Like this feels nice. So there is that. I do see a little bit of white flakiness here as it, so this one is flaking a little bit. They don't always do that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Okay, we got more dual layers here. This looks more centered. So I do like that. That looks nice. And a very nice place to put your finger here. That's nice too. Yeah, no, these are good. And they have different symbols on the top as well. There's another one there. And then finally that tray is done. And it is very much just a tray. Looks like this went in like that. And then these went on top and blah, blah, blah. You don't care. Moving on. Oh, I guess let's go ahead and take a look at the tray real quick. Love that it's black. You can see the shape better. Notice it's not crinkling or anything like that. It's thicker. It's very nice. It's not really splitting very easily. It's not deforming its shape. It's holding it quite well. Even pushing in on these. Yeah, very nice. Very nice tray. I like that a lot. Okay, we got some foam here. I'll probably keep that. Normally I do, because I suspect, yep, that's going to act as a lid. A lot of times they'll do that, which is fine. All right, so we got a few cards, and then we can start moving on. So we have a little bag here. Now, I don't know exactly what you're doing with this bag. I'll have to look. What I will say is I like bags, if I can, to get it to where I can put my whole hand in there. Like I can barely, like with my fingers, reach the bottom here. So if I'm having to dig in here, I have to kind of pick, and even then it's just hard to get I want to stick my whole hand in the bag, right? If I can. Like it just... This is not fun for me, right? I think bags are a fun mechanic. They naturally shuffle themselves. It's much more kind of evenly randomized. There's no funny business about the shuffling. You can just stick it in there and you're good to go pretty much, right? The moment you put a token back in, boom, shuffled. Love it. That's great. But this can be frustrating when it's too small. The print of it, though, it feels very nice. There's no like stray sewing lines anywhere. These aren't fraying at all. They seem fairly sturdy. And it opens up nice. Looks like it cinches pretty nicely as well. A little bit of fuzzy here, but not too bad. Overall, very nice. And the gold on black looks great. Love it. All right, so we got some cards, we got some dice, we got some wood. Let's look at some wood. Maybe because this looks pretty, I think. All right, here's some wood. First of all, they feel great. Like they really do feel nice. They're light. They're not like the really heavy kind or anything like that. Okay, so printing wise, as you can see, uncentered, right? So right now it's higher on the top than the bottom. You can see kind of the ring there. There are some notches on it, and they did swap it. So on dark ones, it's light, and on light ones, it's dark, right? So there is that. This is not quite centered as well. These are very hard to do. Like this one looks, I think, fairly close to centered. It is not on both sides, so you have to, just like one-sided tokens, you have to make sure that they're all facing up. You could go by color, but honestly, again, if it's really, really dark, I am not going to really be able to tell the difference between these three colors. They're all dark, so that is a thing for sure. Like especially these two right here, these look really close to, like I can tell they're different, but just barely, and that's on their own right next to each other. So the symbols are important, and sadly they're not on both sides, so you will have to go here and flip them all up. Thankfully there's not a whole lot of them, but that is something you'll have to do in the future. I think printing it on both sides would be very helpful there, just for speed and ease of use, right? Let's see, what do we got here? We got the stands. I'm not going to review a lot of these whole, like, you know, standees. Like you guys know what's up. Look, looks like they threw a few extra in there. Maybe the count was wrong and they noticed that. A lot of times this will happen when they get one and they're like, oh crap, we noticed like we're 2 off. And they're like, well, okay, just open up the box and put 2 in there. And that's often what they'll do. And so that's exactly what that is. Okay, look at some dice. The dice look very pretty. Very pretty dice. I do like these. They are squared dice. Not like the Chiswick's dice that are like really, really curved. It means they won't roll as much, but it also means typically that they are a little bit closer, though most board game dice are not very accurate, but a little bit more uniform in their weight distribution. Because anytime you do a big curve like that, it's a lot more dependent on how you roll. on how it's going to roll, right? Whereas this is pretty much even on all sides. Again, if you get casino ones, they're like hard edged. It's like what I have for like my Warhammer stuff. And what's nice about these on like a board game, right, is they don't go flying off the table, right? They tend to either stick to a side, maybe turn once or twice. It just depends. But for the most part, the randomization often comes from the hand here. Sorry for the defocus there, as opposed to necessarily the die itself, because it's not like rolling off the table or some junk like that. We do have another special one here. Lots of funny business going on here. Let's see, the paint job looks quite good on it, though, as you can see, my 3 is missing kind of a big section there, unless it's something almost in it. It almost looks like there's... Yeah, what the heck is that? Why is that in my dice? Get out of my dice. It's like some cardboard stuff or something. Though I do see still some plenty of black. Yellow is hard to paint, right? It is. You almost need 2 passes for it. Looks like a little bit came off here as well. But it's also interesting that it's all repeated. I don't really see anything else, but yeah, let's take a look at a white and a black one as well. Okay, so we do have pips. So these are like standard dice, which I actually kind of dig. They're just really fancy dice, which again, I kind of dig. I like that. That looks nice. There's a blank. There's another 2. There's a 1 pip. And there's a 3 on the black. Very interesting. Very interesting. And it's only 1 blank. And there is a blank on both die. So it means you can still roll all blanks, even if you have that fancy 3 pip black die. And not very many dice either. Just a handful. Now, whether you need more or not, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, colors look nice too. That's nice. Okay, I think all that's left, guys, man, my goodness, is some here's some big cards. We'll go big to small. Big to small. So we'll start with the big cards and then the small cards. I'm not gonna look at every single card. If you want that, you can ask somebody that either would like to do a very, very long video with probably very little narration after a while, at least on the game. You can only look at pictures for so long, I think. But honestly, a picture is better for you then, right? Or pausing this, because it doesn't even list every picture there. Yeah, you just want a picture of the contents spread out. So Horror in the Ice, is this section out? It is Horror in the Ice into game, and then we have Statue of Despair. Okay, so let's go ahead. It would have been nice almost if these were slightly taller, right? Just so you could easily go, like rifle through them and be like, I want, this group of them. It doesn't need to be separated like a Cthulhu Death May Die per se, but just a little lip to separate them, I think would be nice. Let's take a quick look at just one of these here. There is art on the back. Looks, terrible, but in a good way. And place an entry token here, and then just some story. Otherwise, yeah, just some basic stuff here. It's kind of all that's there. So we'll look at a few more cards, and I think call it good. And is there anything like items or something like that? Oh, there's a lot of text. A lot of text. A bag of items. That's kind of interesting. Let's see. Oh, all right. Here's some items. Here's some items. Here's some more items. Looks like there's plenty of room in here, which is very nice. Very nice. And more items. All right, let's take a look at some items. I'm not going to take a look at all of them. Let's take a look at some armor, because those look kind of cool. All right, so here we have some boots, a curb stomper. That's fun. Oh my gosh, that's like a whole outfit backpack thing. Burst mail, displacer vest. These are very cool items. The one thing I can say about this is I wish the art was bigger. I really do. I really do. I wish this was more of a traditional, like Magic the Gathering style card, where it's like it's more faced this way, and they're not as small. And then you have the art and then the text underneath it. Just because these are so cool looking. Like, look at that thing, grotesque mask. That's freaking sweet. I love the items on these. These are fantastic. Very, very cool. Wow, gosh, look at that stuff. Amorphix. Essence boots, and look, see that has the essence symbol on there. I like that. Very Spellbinder's hat. This is cool. I love it. This is awesome stuff. Yeah, those are cool. All right, let's take a look at some expansions in the books. All right, I have to pick between these two. I'm going to save this one for last because it's a more fun color. This one's kind of more muted, so we're gonna go in this order, I think. So this is Beyond, and this one seems heavier as well. I don't know actually if there's any real big difference here or not. Let's see. 8 Explorer cards versus 6 in figures. 17 monster cards, 8 monster cards, 50 chapter cards, 25 chapter cards, 3 scenarios, 2 scenarios, 40, 33, 20. Yes, there's just more of everything. No, this has more exploration and horror cards by 10, but otherwise it's less of everything. So yeah, this one's a little bit cooperative horror adventure. Yeah, this is just a little bit lighter. So that's cool. That's cool. We'll end with a bang then. Well, we still have the art book to look at, and I'm really excited for that. Like, really excited. Come on, get out of here. There we go. All right. There we are. Ooh, that sounds terrible. See, this always happens to me. There we are. Okay. All right. And as you can see, by the way, it is right as long, right? So it'll kind of look like that, kind of, right? So it's kind of fits in a little bit, I think is the idea. The idea there. All right. All right. So this box, I mean, because it's smaller, I think it does pretty well. There's a weird line there. Do you guys see that? I don't know if you can see the line there or not. There's a little bit of a line there. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I can see it though. It's right here. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Zoom in a little bit now that we're looking at components and stuff. So we have a tiny little pamphlet. So it looks like some new rules and then like a component list. We have all this. Oh, I love the different people. These are so cool. So cool looking. And then the enemies, a gas, color, out of space, a ghoul, a rat thing, a dark young, envoy of Hester. That's cool. That's cool. I dig that. All right, so we got some standees here. We have some new cards here. This is, I believe, there's a ton of extra storage space in that core box. I wonder if it can just fit all of this and then have it all sleeved and stuff too, or what? Because it just seems that there's a lot. Like even if I sleeved all of these, it seems like it's a lot. But maybe they're not talking no penny sleeves here. Maybe that's the difference. Oh, we got fire vampires. That's fun. I think the only other game I have that has those is Death May Die. Come on, get off. All right. All staticky. Okay, so yep, same stuff here. Man, look at that. That was crazy. Okay, cool. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of more game content, right? That's kind of what this is all about here. And Resurgent Endgame, and then Geometry of the Void, and later on we have this is just the 2. That's right, Geometry of the Void. All right, now it looks like I think we did get some different cards. Lure token. I don't know exactly which ones are new. Arcane Veto. And then we have Barrel Detonator. Now one thing I will say here, and then new items, which is super cool. So let's see, we got Arcane Veto. And some of these are new. They're all new, but like a new kind. Barrel Detonator. I dig that. And then, some more items. Labored Stilts. You're not affected by triggered traps. Very cool. You just walk over all the traps. What the heck do you care? I dig it. One thing I will say is that this is obviously not worth all of this box, right? I think even if you sleeved, it's just not that much. Like this is the content, and then this right here, like that is not this big old box, right? It's bigger than it needs to be to match the core box size, which is a very common thing a lot of companies do. And it does make it seem a little bit bigger, but at the end of the day, that means I also have to store it, right? So conscientious of that as well. All right, so there's that. There's that. Let's look at the next one. Here we are. Ooh, wow, okay. Let us take a look. All right. There we go. There we are. There we go. Okay. Oh, this one is heavier, that is for sure. All right. Oh, wow, this is like a whole little thing here. So it looks like things to remember here. Like don't forget to the invoking a horror event increases monster threat by 1, stuff like that, which is helpful. Got some charges. Looks like it's like a counter system of some kind. Some more expansion rules there. And then we have 2, not whole things, right? There's some that are not needed here. But we have new heroes, new monsters, new bosses. The art, as always, looks awesome. Very much dig it. A lot. I think they look really, really cool. So, really excited about that. And look at this. Oh, wow, way more. Look at all this. My goodness, that is a huge amount more. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm not going to even open these up. You've seen them before. More standees. I don't know. I guess it's kind of interesting. They give you enough standees so you can put a standee on each one of these. You don't have to take the standees off. I actually appreciate that. It looks like you could probably still fit them all in here in the standee, because taking the standee like on and off, will start rubbing away, denting the bottom, stuff like that. By keeping the stand on there, it's just a lot nicer. And it ADs this set up too, which is nice. Oh man, look at that art. Okay, I want to open this up. It's got some nice art. Let me see that. Have I been missing out? So much of the cards is just text. So I'm really glad to see. Like, I wish the items were almost like this, right? Like go in and show me that art. Full stop. Unapologetically. That's a weird. Unapologetic. Man, if I think about it, I can't even say it. You know what I mean. Come on. Let me open you up, please. We're filming. We have guests. Don't act up. Oh. Okay. Almost. There we are. All right. Oh, very cool. Yeah, there's a whole bunch here. Look at this. Very nice. Very nice. I love the different colors. This seems to be like common, right? Like these are the tans, then we have the purples and the greens and the kind of dark blues. And then we have some of the enemies as well, which are just dark and dingy. Love the frog. Yeah, that cat is not okay. Oh, these are nice. This shows the art off so much better. So much better. Very cool. Very cool. Dig it. All right, you're going to go back in there. And let's look at the art books. I'm excited. Ooh, that's not that. This is that. Zoom out again. Ooh, there we are. Okay. All right. Okay. We got 2 different ones here. Let's open them both. Carefully as I can. Or, kind of in general, carefully as I can. All right. I will say, I typically don't like books in this shape. I like them like in this, right? Where it opens this way versus this way. Mainly because these are going to look different on my shelf than any of the others. And it bothers me. It makes my eye twitch a little bit. But they seem very nice. It got kind of like a faux leather kind of feeling. Like if you were to, get like a notepad for taking notes and stuff, it would kind of feel like that. It seems to me that they are 2 different styles. So you can see here, let me zoom in a little bit, but I'm sure you can kind of, okay, there you go. Yeah, you can see it just fine. So this has a texture and this has a texture. This texture is a lot more. This is a little bit more in your face. This one's a little bit more subdued, right? Both have the gold lettering on it. It looks like it's I forget the name of all these, but it's where they have the groups of pages, and then they kind of glue them into sections onto a fabric or sew it, or whatever it is that they do. All right, let's go ahead and start with the blue. Put it up to blackness. That's perfect. That's a good introduction. This sets the stage. That's it. That's what you get. You got black. My camera's even like, it gets black on black. I don't know what you want from me. Black on black. Matte black everything, right? Isn't that the term? Awakening. Now we're to the blue. That makes sense. Now we're away from the blue. I love this. I love this. These are so fun. I imagine someday I'm gonna have like a coffee table or something like that, and like a little place where people can chill, right? Where like visitors can come and I can chat with them and do whatever. I like to pretend I know people and I'm social. And in that hypothetical make-believe world that'll never happen, I imagine a bookshelf kind of nearby, and maybe some books arranged on that, and people can just start looking at stuff, and it'll be stuff like this. Like they won't know what the heck this is. They're just gonna be like, what the, like, I just want all these interesting books that people can go and just start reading. Like, if they had this kind of stuff in waiting rooms, I would go to waiting rooms. Like, you could just get lost in the world and like, well, I was waiting for tea. Like, we're drinking tea now. And like, I read about like these shards and the comfort of a calling and Gregor's Lament, and I was like, what the heck is going, like, I find this stuff very interesting. This is why I like RPG books. I don't even play RPGs, but I love getting lost in a world and diving deep into something like this, where you're just like, it's just this nerdy read. You often learn some stuff, especially like RPG books. You can learn like actual history and how societies work and all this other just really interesting stuff. And it's stuff like this I love. If I ever did an art book, I would do one with this. I want a lot of text in my art book. I want to learn about stuff. I want to read about it. And it can be meta stuff. It can be like, well, here's our design process here, whatever. I just want something to do more than just look. This is an amazing picture, by the way. It was this picture I was looking at when I was hemming and hawing and wondering, I really want to back these. I really want to get these art books. I think they're only like $25 a pop. It's something I probably should just pull the trigger on, to be honest. $25 for a specialty book like this with the hardbound kind of, leather wrap kind of stuff, and good. It looks like good coloration. My one issue is I've been burned on a few art books because the colors are off. Like, it's not, as a painter, a lot of times I like it, but I like Rising Suns, for instance, has terrible coloration. You look at the digital files and you look at the one in the book, and it's completely different. This looks great. I love the splash of colors. I got tie-dye. This is the 70s seeping out into the 40s. That's what's going on there. Look at this junk. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I remember seeing this too, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, I love this stuff. This is almost like alien stuff here, right? It's fantastic. Look, I'm not gonna show everything here, but oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. This is awesome. There's so much here. Mysterium, so I can learn about all the enemies. Yes, the skin is the best part. I love it. That's funny. That's great. Those cats are freaking sweet. All right, so that's that one. That one's awesome. That's a good one. Let's see what this one has in store for us. Maybe this is more world? I don't know. Chronicle of Expedition to the Forlorn Icy Continent. Chapter 1. Is this like long form stories? I'm down with that too. I love it. Again, this is just the kind of stuff I enjoy falling into. And this is a lot more characters. Looks like to me. Got all the characters, at least the original ones. I wonder if this is like a. I remember seeing this too, and I thought this was awesome. The effect of like the blood forming into somebody like that is really cool. Was this the first Kickstarter and that's the second one, perhaps, something like that? Oh, this is the third one though, right? So I don't know what's going on, but this is that's almost like a Conan kind of thing to me. Very common kind of. See, look at this. This is like some sci-fi stuff going on there. Love it. Okay, yeah, these are cool. So look, guys, I don't need miniatures per se. I like certain genres. A dungeon crawl like this works. It's the same reason why I like Small World. It doesn't have any miniatures, but I enjoy kind of the area control, dudes on a map kind of stuff with like streamlined, tough decisions. Like, when do you pick a new species, a new race or whatever to swap as. yeah, this is cool. This is a very cool theme, a very neat looking game. Some more bestiary. Gosh, look at this stuff. It's just great. Great stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to kind of dive into this. This looks awesome. Like everything about this is something I pretty much dig. So that's cool. That's cool. These are the art books, the 2 art books. That is Machina Arcana 3rd edition. Let me know when 4th edition comes out, and I'll take a look at it. All right, take care, guys. Bye.